So the setting is the Recode Code Conference 2016. Elon Musk is on stage with interviewers Walt Mossberg and Kara Swisher, taking questions from the audience. Josh Topolsky, who's a co-founder of The Verge, in the audience, asks Elon whether he thought we might be living in a simulation. We immediately learned, to our surprise, that Elon has ruminated about and hashed through this topic so thoroughly already that he and his brother have formally banned its further discussion anytime they are in hot tubs. Its discussion is formally banned from hot tub debate. And he was dead serious about this. So in answering the questionnaire, Elon put a number to it and even like worked through his logic, concluding that he believed we are indeed living within a simulation. And he says, in fact, he thinks there's only probably about a 1 in a billion chance that we are not simulated and are living in what that is a 1 in a billion chance that we are living in what he refers to as a base reality. So it turns out that this is, and maybe Josh knew this already, because Elon was on record at least for a couple of years. Back in 2014 at Vanity Fair's 2014 New Establishment Summit, Elon made the case that our lives are not at all what we think they are. He concluded, again, even back then, there's a 1 in a billion chance that this is reality. And so he said, for example, quoting him from this Recode conference recently, he said, the strongest argument for us being in a simulation is the following. 40 years ago, we had Pong, 2 rectangles and a dot. Now, 40 years later, we have photorealistic 3D with millions playing simultaneously. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality. It would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in millions. Anyway, so I thought, okay, so that's interesting. Now, a lot of the press jumped on the Matrix, which, and what I realized was that, okay, that's sort of the pop version of what this sort of sounds like, but it's not what Elon means. So the difference is the Matrix, we can think of, everyone knows the movie, of course, we can think of it as sort of a, an MMO, right? It is a massively multiplayer environment where you are sort of a reflection of yourself in this other environment. What Elon is referring to is different than that. He's referring to more something like the game of life. Of course, Conway's famous game, where you have rules by which these little cells are born or live and die, and those rules create this surprisingly rich result. And so what Elon is meaning is that everything, what we regard as reality could be running in some sort of a reality support container, meaning that life are an emergent property of that. So it's not that we exist as ourselves outside of this, as was in the case with the Matrix, but in fact that that reality as we know it is something that we perceive from inside, but that it exists in some sort of a container. And Leo, I heard you talking about it, I guess, over the weekend. And there was some conversation about, continuity, like the continuousness of space. And what is a little creepy is that it turns out the most recent theories of space-time is that it is quantized. That is, photons do not travel continuously at the lowest level. They are jumping from one essentially pixel, for lack of a better word, to the next. So that's kind of creepy. Anyway, I thought that was a kick and wanted to stick it into the podcast.